Good afternoon to all of you. We'll solve one more problem on spur gear. Okay. I will read the statement. It is required to transmit 25 kilowatt of power. Power is given, it is 25 kilowatt from a shaft running at 1000 RPM. RPM is given, N1 is equal to 1000 RPM to a parallel shaft with speed reduction of 2.5 is to 1. This speed reduction is nothing but speed ratio is given, that is denoted by I. It is 2.5. The center to center distance of the shaft is about 300 mm. In the previous problem which you have solved, in that center distance was not given. In this case, center distance is given. The material used for pinion is steel, and they have given the details of that, whatever the pinion material is there. Okay, its mineral hardness number is also given. Similarly, gear is of cast iron. Okay, and its detail is given. Okay, and if the material is given, if the details are not given, okay, uh, you know how to obtain the values from the data input, which we have already discussed in the previous problem. In this case, there is no need of referring that table. Okay, otherwise, I will show that. In case if it is not given, okay, you have to refer the table 12.4, okay, where you will get the details of the pinion as well as gear. And he has told that considering class 2 gear, it is a class 2 gear with a tooth profile 20-degree full depth in volute. It is a 20-degree full depth in volute. Alpha is at 20-degree. Design the spur gear. He has asked you to design the spur gear and check for the dynamic and wear load. You need to check for the dynamic and wear load. Okay, and while giving the procedure, I told you that when the center distance is given, there is no need of assuming the number of teeth on pinion as well as on the gear. Okay, or you want to refer, you can see that once again. Here you can see that if the diameter or center distance between the gear or pitch line velocity is given, okay, use the same procedure by not assuming the minimum number of teeth. Okay, in this case, center distance is given, that's why don't assume the number of teeth. Okay, directly you need to find out the diameter using the gear ratio. Okay, as we know that from the gear ratio formula, gear ratio I is equal to, it is the ratio of d2 by d1, or it is I is equal to n1 by n2. Okay, let me first find out n1 is given. From this formula I can find out n2. Okay, therefore speed on gear pinion is given, it is 1000. Speed on gear n1 is equal to, sorry, n2 is equal to n1 by I. Substitute the values, you're going to get the speed of the gear. After that you can find out the d1 and d2. Okay, to finding that, if you see the given statement, in that he has mentioned that the center to center distance of the shaft is about 300 mm. The center distance is d1 plus d2 divided by 2 is equal to 300 he has given. Therefore, d1 plus d2 is equal to, you take this 2 to the right hand side, it will be 300 into 2. That is 600. Okay, call this as equation 1. In the same equation, two unknowns are there. Okay, you can use this speed ratio formula. It is d2 by d1. Okay, In this case, you will get d2 is equal to I is given, it is 2.5, it is 2.5 d1. You substitute the value of d2 in this equation 1. Substitute the value of d2 in equation 1. Therefore, d1 is equal to, will get d1 is equal to 171.43. Okay, round it off to 172 mm. Okay, once you get d1, diameter of the pinion, you substitute that in equation 2, you will get the diameter of the gear. Okay, it is 430 mm. After that, the next procedure is same. You need to find out the weaker member. Okay, before finding that weaker member, you need to find out the value of y. Y is nothing but Lewis form factor. You need to find out the Lewis form factor from equation 12.5d. Yes. If you see the given statement, it is given that it is a 20-degree full involute system. That's why you have to refer equation 12.5d. If it is given as 20-degree step teeth system, then you could have used 12.5e. Now it is given as 20-degree full depth. Therefore, y is equal to, take that equation. After taking that, in this case, you can see that z1 is not known. Okay, number of teeth on pinion is not given. Number of teeth on gear is also not given. But from module formula, okay, if you see the data handbook, the formula for the module is given. We know that module is d by z. Okay, you can use this formula. Therefore, z is equal to d by m. Therefore, z is equal to d by m. Okay, here you're finding Lewis form factor for pinion. That's why I will mention it as d1. Therefore, m is equal to, sorry, z1 is equal to d1 by m. Okay, and substitute the value of d1. Okay, it is 172. Substitute that and solve that. You will get as 0.154 minus, this will be 0.005319 m. Okay, in this case, m module is need to be calculated. After that, Lewis form factor for the gear. In this case, it will be z2. In this equation, it will be z2. Z2 is nothing but d2 by m, diameter of the gear divided by module. D2 is calculated, substitute that, 430 divided by m. Okay, after doing the calculation, you will get this value. Okay, and as I told you, after that you need to find out which is a weaker member, and further designing will be done for the weaker member. Okay, and to calculate that, the strength factor for the pinion, it is sigma d into y. For the pinion means you have to take down sigma d for pinion and form factor which are calculated for the pinion. Sigma d for the pinion, it is given 180 megapascal. For the gear, it is 200 megapascal. Substitute that. This is the Lewis form factor for the pinion. Similarly, okay, take this 180 inside the bracket. Okay, in this case, you'll be not getting the value. Okay, why? Because in this case, m is unknown. Give it like that only. Similarly, find out the strength factor for the gear. Sigma d is given for the gear. It is made up of cast iron. It is 200, and y you have calculated for the Lewis form factor for the gear. Substitute that, you will get this value. In both the equation, m is unknown. For the further design, okay, or the designing will be done for the weaker member. Okay, uh, from this equation you will not getting which is weaker. Okay, once you get the value of m, then only you will be able to find out the sigma into y value, that is the strength factor. Okay, for that reason we don't have any option. Okay, for that reason what I will do, I will substitute the value of m. Okay, from trial and error method. Okay, keep on substituting the value. From that you will get the sigma d into y value. Okay, first what I will do, I will substitute m is equal to 1. Okay, when I substitute m is equal to 1, it will be 0.9574. 27.72 minus 0.9574 means it will be 26.76, means strength factor for pinion you obtain it as 26.76 when module is 1. Similarly, substitute module is equal to 1 in the gear. Okay, it will be 30.8 minus 0.4256 into 1. Therefore, it will be 30.374. Okay, from this you can see that the strength factor of pinion is less, but from one m value cannot decide. Why? Because this is a trial and error method. Here directly, when you are not getting sigma into y value, this is the method. At least you need to try for 7 or 8. In all the cases, if you are getting one answer, then you should go ahead with that. In second case also, you can see I am going to substitute the value of m as 2. When you are going to substitute the value of m as 2, in this case, uh, the strength factor for pinion you will get it as 25.8052. Okay, and when you substitute m is equal to 2 in this, the strength factor for the gear you will get it as 28.9488. Okay, similarly, take down the m value as 3. Okay, take m value as 3. When I take m is equal to 3 and when I substitute that, in that case you will get it as 24.84, whereas gear strength factor for gear you will get it as 29.52. In the three cases you can see that compared to gear, in all the three cases pinion is weaker. Okay, but from the three values of m we cannot decide. That's why what I have done, I have taken up to 10. If 4 I have taken, I substitute that. Here also you can see that in pinion I'm getting it as strength factor as 23.89, whereas here it is 20. In this case gear is stronger whereas pinion is weaker. Similarly I have done substitute m is equal to 5. In this case gear I am getting it as 28, whereas pinion I am getting it as 22.95. Means still here pinion is weaker, gear is stronger. After that I substitute 6. Here also pinion is weaker, gear is stronger. Like that I have taken 8 and 10. In all the cases pinion is weaker. Here also you can see that pinion is weaker and gear is stronger. Okay, from this what I conclude that further designing is to be done on the pinion. Why? Because in all the cases pinion strength factor is less compared to the gear. Therefore for almost all values of m, pinion appears weaker, and therefore design should be done for the weaker member, that is design should be done for the pinion. Therefore here you can see that sigma d, a value of pinion is less than the gear. That's why further designing should be done for the pinion. Okay, now I need to find out the torque for the pinion. This is the formula, 9550 into P divided by N1 into CS. Okay, in this case P is given, it is 25 kilowatt. Okay, N1 is also given. Whereas this CS value you need to note down from the table 12.8, okay, page number 235, page number 235. Yes, here you can see that the CS, okay, in the given problem, okay, whatever the criteria which is there for the service factor, that is CS, okay, service factor, they have not given, okay. In that case, if it is not given, whatever the service life is there, okay, we will take it as light shocks, and whatever the time is there per day, the gear members will work for 8 to 10 hours per day, okay. Here you can see that it is a light shock, okay, or in the given data if they mention medium shock, according to that you have to take. In the problem he has not mentioned, that's why I have taken light shock. And type of service, okay, it is working for 8 to 10 hours per day. Otherwise if they mention continuous 24 hours per day, according to that you have to take the CS value, that is service factor value, from this table. After taking service factor CS value, substitute that. From this you will get the torque for the pinion. Okay, once you get the torque, next you need to find out the velocity. Okay, as we know that velocity is uh, pi dn by 60,000. Okay, as the design is done for the pinion, therefore I will note down it as D1 N1. Diameter of pinion it is calculated, N1 is given. From this, the velocity will obtain it as 8.9535 meters per second. Here you can see that velocity is greater than 8.8 meters per second. Okay. For that reason, whatever the CV value, that is velocity factor, which you are going to take, okay, the velocity factor which you are going to take, it depends upon the velocity. Our obtained velocity is 8.9. Now yes, here you can see that if the velocity is less than or up to 8 meters per second, you can choose 12.6 a equation. Whereas in our case it is 8.9, means you have to take up to 13 meters per second. Therefore CV, okay, that is a velocity factor, will be 4.58 divided by 4.58 plus v. I have taken this formula because the velocity is greater than 8 meters per second. Okay, in this substitute the value of v. Once you substitute the value of v, you will get the CV value. Okay, up to this, if you have any doubts, you can ask me. I will clarify that, and after that, I will take the next step. Up to this, do you have any doubts? Any one of you can reply.
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. Next is this k value is not given, as we have assumed for the previous problem. I will take it as 12.5. Okay, and from this I need to calculate the module. Okay, and the formula to calculate the module, it is 12.5b. Okay, this is the formula. In this already you have calculated the torque for the pinion. Substitute that. Sigma d is given for the pinion, and the CV value, that is the velocity factor, it is 0.3384. Substitute that. K value, it is 12.5, and this capital Y is nothing but Lewis form factor into pi. It is given in equation 12.5b. Otherwise, I will show you 12.5b. Yeah, here you can see that this is m cube. M cube is equal to 2 mt by This is the formula. K. Here you can see that capital Y is nothing but pi into Y. Okay. Y is nothing but the Lewis form factor. Already we have calculated the Lewis form factor for pinion. Okay. You have to substitute that. The Lewis form factor for pinion. This is the Lewis form factor for the pinion. 0.154 minus of this. Okay. Substitute that y, sorry, pi into y. Okay. And z1. Okay. As the number of teeth on pinion. Okay, why I have taken Z1 means here you are designing it for the pinion, weaker member. I taken it at Z1. The number of teeth on the pinion is not given. Therefore, you can use module formula. Module is nothing but diameter divided by number of teeth. Okay, as we are designing it for weaker member, that is pinion, it will be D1 by Z1. Therefore, Z1 is equal to D1 by M. Okay, D1 it is calculated 172. Substitute that. M is not known. Keep it like that only. Okay. After solving this, you will get the cubic equation. Okay, and try to solve this cubic equation using the calci. Okay. After calculating that, you will get somewhere around 3.6 or 7. Means which is in between 3 and 4. Means you can take the greater value. That is 4. That is one method. Or other one is a trial and error method, where you need to substitute the value of m. Okay, such that here when you substitute the value of m, you should get one positive and negative value. Okay, means that indicates that whatever the module is there, that is in between that value. Okay, now you can see that when I substitute m is equal to 2. Okay, in this case I will get it as 166.52. Okay, next I will substitute m is equal to 3. Then also I am getting positive value. But when I substitute m is equal to 4, here I am getting negative value. Means whatever the module is there, it is in between 3 and 4. But you cannot take the smaller value. You have to take the greater value. M is equal to 4. After that, you have to refer the table. Okay, and you have to refer the table and you have to select the standard module. As the standard module is 4, I have selected that. Otherwise you can see that what we have done in the procedure. Yes, here you can see that calculate the module. Already I calculated from this table 12.2. Okay, page number 2 to 10, you have to select the standard module. Okay, I will show the data and book in that how you are going to select the standard module. Yes. Yeah. This is 12.2 recommended series of module. Okay, after 3, the next one is a 4. That's 4. From the data and book, the standard module is 4. This is how you need to select the module. Once you get the module, okay, once you get the module, after that, next we know that whatever this k is there, okay, this k is nothing but face width divided by module. Therefore, face width will be k into module. K is 12.5. 12.5 into module is calculated is 4. It will be 50. Okay. After that, you need to find out the allowable stress and induced stress. Allowable stress is nothing but it is the multiplication of sigma d into Cv. Okay, sigma d of the pinion is given. Cv you have calculated, that is equation 12.6. From this you are going to find out the velocity factor, that is Cv. Substitute the value. After substituting that allowable stress, you are going to get it as 60.912 megapascal. After that, next you need to find out the induced stress. Okay, always keep in mind that whatever the induced stress is, that it should not exceed the allowable stress. If it exceeds the allowable stress, then the design is not safe. If the induced stress is less than the allowable, then the design will be safe. Now, how to find out the induced stress? You can use the same equation which you are used to calculate the module, but instead of sigma d into cv, you need to replace it as induced stress. Sigma d into cv, this is how you can remember this formula. Okay, it is not there in your data book. Replace that with sigma induce, that is induced stress. Okay, substitute the module, and similarly the value of y. Okay, and as t1 is calculated already, and now you have calculated the model. From that you can get the number of teeth on the pinion. Okay, from the module formula. Here you can see that module is nothing but d1 by z1. Therefore z1 is equal to diameter of the pinion divided by module, that is 172 by 4. Therefore number of teeth on pinion is 43. Substitute the value of 43. Y, you have to take it from Lewis form factor for pinion. Lewis form factor for pinion, this is the value which you have calculated. That substitute the value of that, and this capital Y is nothing but pi into small y. Small y you have calculated, substitute all the values, and the induced stress you will get it as 41.62 megapascal. Okay. Once you get the induced stress, you need to compare this with the allowable stress. Allowable stress is 60.9, whereas induced stress is 41.62. Okay, in this case, allowable stress is greater than the induced stress. Therefore, design is safe. Okay, in some of the cases, you might get induced stress might be greater than the allowable stress. At that time, you need to write the comment that as allowable stress, induced stress is greater than the allowable stress, design is not safe. Whereas in this case, allowable stress is greater than induced stress, design is safe. Okay. After that, for the further calculation to find out the wear load and dynamic load, you have to use the optimized face width. Therefore, the optimized face width is equal to induced stress divided by allowable stress multiplied by the face width which are calculated into 50. From this, the optimized face width will get us 34.16 mm. Okay, and after that, next you need to find out the geometric parameters like addendum, dedendum, tooth thickness, working depth, clearance. All these geometric parameters, fillet radius, all these things need to be calculated, and that is there in the data handbook, that is page number 229. Yes, this is table number 12.3, page number 229, standard tooth proportions of the involutes per gear. Okay, according to the model you take, addendum is equal to m, already model is calculated is 4. Similarly, dedendum is equal to 1.25 into 4. 4 into 1.25 is it is equal to 6. Like that, take down all these formulas, tooth thickness, all these geometric parameters need to be calculated. Okay, here I have calculated all these geometric parameters. Okay, after calculating all this, next is to find out the dynamic load. Okay, and this dynamic load formula is there in the data book, that is 12.12. 12.12, yes, here it is. This is the formula which is used to calculate the dynamic load. Okay, this is Ft plus Fi. This is the formula for Fi, and here you need to note down the value of K3 and K1. Okay, K3, sorry, K1 value, it depends upon the alpha value. Alpha value he has given it as 20-degree full depth teeth, means therefore K1 value will be 9. K1 value will be 9, and K3, as it is a SI unit, K3 is equal to 20.67. Okay, and velocity is already calculated. Okay, this capital C need to be calculated. Okay, therefore C is equal to E divided by, this formula is given, and this E1 and E2 are nothing but modulus of elasticity. E1 is modulus of elasticity for pinion, E2 is modulus of elasticity for gear. Okay, and which member it is made up of, or which material it is made up of, it is given. From that you need to calculate that. I will show that how to calculate that. I have taken this K3 K1 value. Okay, and this Young's modulus E1 E2 value, you have to take it from table number 1.1. Yeah, this is the physical constants of a material. Okay, you have to see which material is given. I think pinion they are given it as steel, and whereas gear they have mentioned it as cast iron. It is 202 for pinion, and for cast iron it is 100. This E1 is 202 and E2 is 100. It is into 10 raised to 3 megapascal, into 10 raised to 3 megapascal. E1 is 202 into 10 raised to 3 megapascal. E2 is 100 into 10 raised to 3 megapascal. Similarly, you need to find out the value of E. Okay, finding this, you can see that in the given statement, he has mentioned that consider class 2 gear. He has mentioned that whatever the gear is there, it is class 2. I will show the data input, and that how you are going to take down that value. Okay, here you can see that to find out the error, they are given the class 1, class 2, class 3. Okay, they have mentioned it as class 2, and the module which you have calculated is 4, means for class 2 gear it is 0.0254. Therefore E value is 0.0254 from the data handbook. Here you can see that I have taken the E value. Now substitute all the values in this equation. Okay, after substituting that you will get the value of C, and we know that Ft, that is torque, is nothing but force multiplied by radius. Therefore torque it is denoted by Mt is equal to force multiplied by radius. Radius is nothing but d by 2, F into d by 2. Therefore F is nothing but F is equal to Mt divided by, take this diameter by 2 to the left hand side. Therefore F is equal to M divided by d1 by 2. Okay, torque is calculated, substitute that. Diameter of the pinion is known, it is calculated, substitute the value. After substituting that you will get the value of Ft, substitute that in this equation. Similarly find out the Fd. Okay, that is the dynamic load. Once you get the dynamic load in the data book, the formula for the wear load is given. From that you can calculate the wear load. This is the dynamic load formula. Okay, and after that they are given the wear load formula. Here you can see that wear load Fw is equal to mz1 bqk should be greater than equal to Fd. Okay, where this capital K is nothing but this. Okay, from this you can take, or from table also you can take, but the Q is nothing but it is the ratio factor. Either you can use the first formula or you can use the second formula to calculate that. Okay, in this I have substituted the value of d1. B, you have to use the optimized phase width into Q. You need to calculate that. After that, K is not given. You can use that formula, or you can use the table number 12.16 from the given Brinell hardness number is given in the statement. Okay, from that you can calculate that value. You can see that using this 12.16 you can find out this K value. Okay, and this K value is it is a 20 degree. Okay, and whatever the material is there, and the pinion is made up of steel, whereas gear is made up of cast iron, means cast iron is here. Up to this, uh, the gear is also steel, and pinion is also steel. Okay, you have to see uh, the hardness number here. They have mentioned the hardness number as 250. 250 for pinion is 250. Otherwise I will show the statement. You can see that. Yes, here you can see that Brinell hardness number for pinion is 250. For cast iron it is 200. It is pinion is made up of steel. This is the steel one. Okay, up to this it is steel, and its hardness number is 250. Here you can see that it is BHN, Brinell hardness number. It is 250. Similarly, gear Brinell hardness number is 200, whereas the maximum here it is 180. Okay, means you can here, sorry, cast air maximum is 180. You can take this. Therefore, for 20 degree, the K value will be 1.344. Therefore, from this, I can write the K value. K is equal to 1.344 and substitute that. From this, you are going to get the wear load. Now you can see that whatever the wear load is, it is greater than the dynamic load. Okay, then the design will be safe. The wear load should be greater than the dynamic load, then design will be safe. Okay. This is the complete design of spur gear when the central distance is given. And before this, we have solved a problem when the central distance is not given, but they are given the number of teeth is given. If you have any doubts in this, you can ask me. We'll clarify that. Okay. Because this will be asked for full 20 marks. Do you guys have any doubt, or you are not understood any of the steps? You can ask me. I will clarify that. Any one of you?
Sir, FD, how we need to calculate?
Dynamic load. Yes. See, to calculate the dynamic load formula is there. FD 12.12. Okay. You need to see the formula. 12.1. Yes. Here you can see that dynamic load. This is the formula. FD is equal to Ft plus this K3V. V velocity already I calculated. C, the formula is also given. How to calculate the value of C? E is nothing but the error. Okay, I have shown you how to calculate this E value. Okay, and K3 and K1. K3, it is for SI units, it is 20.67. We'll be using this. Whereas K1, it depends upon whether the given gear is 14 and half full depth. Okay, in our case, they are mentioned as 20 degree full depth. Is therefore K1 value will be 9. After substituting that, you are going to get this. After that, Ft is nothing but torque. Okay, this is Ft is nothing but force acting on the torque. Okay, therefore torque is nothing but force multiplied by radius. From that, I have written this. Torque is equal to force multiplied by radius. Radius is nothing but d by 2. From that, you are going to get the value of Ft. You substitute that here. Okay, and this thing you will get from this C value as well as E1, E2. you have to take this even E2 Young's modulus of elasticity for pinion, and E2 is the modulus of elasticity for gear. That you will be getting it from page number 11, that is table 1.1. It depends upon which type of material they have used for pinion and gear. Okay, if you see that table, they have mentioned these are the types of materials. Okay, you have to see which material is given. According to that, you can select the modulus of elasticity, E values, into 10 raised to 3 into 10 raised to 3. From this, you can calculate the dynamic load, and always whatever the dynamic load is there, it if you compare that with the VA load, it will be less. If it is less, then the design will be safe. I hope your doubt is clarified. Or still you
Yes,
have?
sir, got it.
Okay.
Sir, and how K is taken as 12.5?
That is the constant. You have to assume it as a 12.5. If it is not given, usually it will be not given. In all the cases, you need to assume that. Okay, and that K is equal to formula is also there in that equation only. 12.12. I think it is not here. I think it is there in the previous equation. K is equal to face width divided by m. It will be 12.5 only. If they give any value, you have to take, otherwise you have to take it as 12.5. Any other doubts? Others, all of you understood? Or still, if you have any doubts, you can ask me. This is the last problem which I will be solving on the gears. These are the two varieties of problem. Okay, one where the center distance is not given, and the other one center distance is given. This is the complete design. Nikhil Patil, whether you understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Roll number 96, Prashant Anehosur.
Yes, sir.
You understood?
Yes, I understood.
Full procedure. Okay. Others, if you have any doubts, you can ask me. Otherwise, I will end the class.